Not tabbed out. Okay. On the right image. Okay, I think we're good to go. I think we're actually live. I'd probably have to turn you all down a little. Which is fine. I wonder what Andrew is.
Unless the time thing has thrown him.
Oh, yeah. Because, Americans' daylight savings is like a week after ours.
It is, yeah.
He'll probably miss one or two until we figure this out. Or I'll have to get him on a separate stream, which I don't mind doing. It's all good. Oh, yeah, so, right. You said you'd just gotten back onto Twitter, yes?
Yes.
Right, so the drama is between a channel called No Bullshit and everyone else. I'm not included because I don't get involved. But basically, at VidCon, there was a video.
Yeah, I saw something.
Okay, so yeah, there was a video. Bunty King took loads of videos at VidCon. One of them was of him smiling, where there's this fat neckbeard drooling asleep while everyone else vacates this conference. That fat beard beard neck, whatever, was No Bullshit. I didn't know that, but that had been on Twitter for like months. You know, so it wasn't really doxing, because on his badge it has his bloody name on it. And he, at the time when he saw it on Twitter, liked it. Only for him to now claim it's doxing, and that other people doxed him, even though it's been systematically proven that he put his name and address and everything, well, not his address, his name and face out there years ago. This, I pointed out to Failure, who's been involved in this. Failure, Terminator, or Accomplished, one or the other. This reminded me of Spinosaurus Kin accusing V of doxing his girlfriend, when everyone knew her name anyway. We knew her name, we knew her face, and we knew what country she lived in. He didn't dox her, he simply said what country she lived in, and everyone already knew it. And so for the last day or two...
Yeah, but that's the thing, people get a bit like, oh, a tiny bit of personal information. Oh, they've been doxed.
Have you... do you follow Battling?
Yeah, I've been talking to him on DMs, because he and I love guitars, and we send a lot of pictures to each other about guitars.
He did a video about No Bullshit.
Yeah, I watched it.
It's a 40-minute video. It sort of rips into pieces.
Yeah, this is where it gets funnier though. So there's a channel called The Cunt Stream. Every Sunday morning when I have to go up early for work, so I miss it, they do a stream. And they talked about this. And they got No Bullshit on, and then they got Battling on, and they argued. It was funny because it did feel like a bit of a dog pile on No Bullshit, but at the same time, the guy... I swear at one point he almost flaunted the fact he went to college. That was funny. I might start using that in my videos, because I went to college and I feel like that kind of arrogance is needed. It was so good.
Did you go to uni?
Yeah, I went to uni. Did you go to uni?
I've got a degree. I'm better than you.
Exactly. Isn't that the whole point? I love it. Whenever I went to pub quizzes, around here, right? Every time we did it, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna win. We got someone that went to uni." I'm like, "Yeah, but I did a very specific area of chemistry. What do you expect me to do?" They're like, "Oh, Manitoba is the state capital of which... Winnipeg is the state capital of which Canadian province?" And they look at me and I'm like, "I've got a fucking clue. I think geography."
Well, if they asked a question like that,
I have to run away and go
everyone would
Google
get it right.
I have to go Google it. I think I got one question right out of 60 once. It was like, which famous actor named his son Kal-El? Like, I knew who that was. I knew who hated their child enough to do that.
Nicolas Cage, wasn't it?
It was Nicolas Cage, yes. Because he's a massive Superman fan. In fact, he was cast as Superman once. The drama is brilliant, though, because it's all like, it's semantics, but it's not really... He's been proven he didn't... No one doxed him. He doxed himself. So it's quite funny. And then there was additional drama of sorts because two people made a video talking about how this community should operate. We should be focusing on not infighting and drama whoring. We should instead be focusing on the culture war, which well, I'm not going to begrudge those that do videos on drama. It's up to you. If you want to do streams, it's all drama. That's up to you. I don't care. I'm not going to do it. I made it clear.
It's quite fun to sit and watch.
Exactly. It's so much fun to watch. I watched that 3-hour cunt stream just so I could laugh at it because I had nothing to do yesterday. Okay, and it was just amusing. They were just abusing each other, and yeah, I liked it. It's good fun. But I'm not going to make that content. I'm not going to begrudge those that do. Or, I say make content, stream that. Not the same thing as making content. It's all... The video about...
Isn't it bullshit?
Sorry, go on.
Didn't he go by a different name originally? On
He did.
YouTube?
Brooks something. Yes, that's what Battening had in his video.
Yeah. He's just like, well, if you go put your name out already, and he tweeted it as well, didn't he? The Money Channel.
He did.
No doxing there.
Fam, you don't know what
knows
doxing is.
something's on the internet.
You know nothing, man. You know nothing. I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, that was one drama, and then there was separate when Cognitive Thought did a stream last night, responding to someone called Liz Reptile. Did a video about the culture war community crap, but then being a bit of a hypocrite because every other week she's involved in drama. So it's just you can't police how the community operates when you yourself are at the centre of quite a lot of pointless drama. It's pretty gay, to be honest.
Drama gets views.
It does, and Drama Alert is a testament to that because, seriously, Keemstar's rolling in it. He's balls deep in drama and he's rolling in money. He's very lucky. I'm very jealous of that.
I watch some of the vegan drama occasionally. That's really amusing.
Actually, that's interesting. I went and looked. I was watching a debate earlier, and Roaming Millennial said to somebody, "Can you please stop mansplaining?" And that made me laugh. But I went onto a channel, and on her description, she put like what she likes and doesn't like. What she doesn't like, vegans. It's still there from the last 2 years, I think. That astonished me.
Can't say if I know any vegans. I don't. Well, I know if anyone is a vegan. I don't know about it. So they've kept their mouth shut.
Well, then you don't know any vegans then. More
than likely, yeah. You have to drop it into every conversation.
Yeah, see, you're not a good vegan if you haven't told everyone you're a vegan, and summarily pissed everyone off because you're a vegan, which I don't care about. I don't care. Apparently, I really don't.
Well, because apparently it's a form of activism.
Okay, well, to trigger the vegans, earlier I ate turkey for dinner. It was delicious.
So did I.
Yeah, turkey.
And it was delicious as well. I did.
Culp had the Culp had some reduced breast fillets, and I was like, yes, thank you. Grill those. It was rather good.
It was a turkey hash steak.
Nice.
Yeah. Get them from Muscle Foods.
I didn't do that. I went and got some rice and just a bed of rice and some turkey. Kept it simple. But the rice was flavoured, so it was I'm not just going with no flavour at all. Fuck that. I'm an adventurous person, as you can tell.
Yeah, see, I actually really like cooking, and I must be one of the few people in the world that actually use all the herbs and spices that we have in the kitchen.
Really? So you don't ever get criticism when you do British food? It actually tastes good and not British. Sorry, bland. And kebabs are heresy unless you've been drinking. Diskanar.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say.
So I did get. I mean,
unless it's kofta. I like kofta kebabs.
Debatable. I did.
I'm from a Greek Cypriot family, so.
So if you don't use spices, you're pretty bad at being a whole Greek Cypriot, aren't you?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. My second year of university, when I moved off campus, the housemates, the people that lived in the house before us, they all girls, all from different areas of the world, and they had an entire drawer just filled with spices and herbs, and they left it there for us. That was that kind of helped, because being a student, you're quite poor. We filled the freezer with sausages and chicken breast. So we just marinated the chicken in whatever spices we could be bothered to mix in a bowl with a little bit of oil and spices and leave it there. Yeah, that was good. We left that drawer when we left. We thought about filling it up again, but we decided instead we would just pour it all out and empty the drawer. And then just grease up the kitchen floor. Grease up the kitchen floor and then leave it. But not tell anyone we've greased the floor up.
Sounded more adventurous than I was at college. I was so stoned at the time. All I ate was Toasties.
I know a few people who did that. All they ever ate was Pop-Tarts. You fucking lame, okay.
It was just like I went out. I was crazy, and I bought myself one of those toasty, makers, and it was just end-to-end cheese and bread.
Oh, ham and cheese toasties! Fucking, I hated those so much. I'd go to school with a burnt mouth. Why did you give me this? Why do you hate me? Stuff is not good for you.
I feel like I still eat like a student some of the time, because I eat far too many pot noodles and like spaghetti or beans on toast and things like that.
My one of my sisters does. The one I live with, in fact, she does. And I've been trying to sort of say, why don't you try and eat a little healthier? Because seriously, it'll do you some good. It doesn't work. Then again, have you seen do you ever watch Sugar Tits content?
Yeah.
Oh, we talk about the one that she just put out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched that this evening actually.
I put a comment on there in just caps about fat fucks complaining about thin privilege. It's not thin. It's not a privilege to be thin. It really isn't. It's a, I don't want to say consequence, but it basically is for looking after yourself. And if thin is being smaller than you, then yes, they are thin. But in fact, actually, one of the people she featured in her video, the one that Bering once said looked like a parachute and 2 pork legs, or pieces of ham, legs of lamb, right? That woman died of a heart attack recently. I don't want to shit on people who are obese, but seriously.
I think they prefer you didn't.
Oh, that's grim. That's grim. But seriously, if you think it's okay to eat yourself stupid and then blame everyone else when it's entirely your fault. Okay, some people do have conditions, some do, yes, but I'm not going to protect you.
But it's very
but it's these idiots that. Sorry, this winds me up. Oh, I've got an underactive thyroid.
Oh, I've got a thyroid problem. Okay, well, I've got a treadmill. Have you ever heard of thought of using it? I don't have to remove a wall of my house to get out of it. And paprika is one of the greatest tastes ever in the world ever. Dali.
Definitely. Love
paprika. Love it. When I used to eat crisps, which I don't anymore. Paprika Pringles or the Max something crinkle cut paprika flavored. Yeah, my favourites.
The Walker's pepper. Yeah, they're the best thing ever.
Yeah, I miss those. Nope, don't eat them. Fuck it.
I'm just wondering if there's a term. I mean, if you were fat and then you lost the weight, does that mean you? Just wonder where that puts you in the social.
A reformed fatty.
Is it like? Just trying to, you could lose your victim points then.
I don't know. Charles, to be honest, if you've gotten to the point where you've lost weight, and you've gotten to the point where you're no longer thinking that way, so you're putting your health first. You're not really You're not one of those fat fucks that doesn't want to do shit and wants to blame anyone anyway for their predicament. You're not the same person anymore. You've changed, you've evolved, or devolved, because you've lost about 200 pounds of body fat. Hell, now when you tense your muscles in your legs, I actually see definition. I don't see chunk wobble.
I was quite big when I was growing up. It wasn't until about 15 I decided to lose a load of weight. So I went from 15 and a half stone down to 11 stone over the course of a summer holiday. So I left school 15 stone, came back 8 weeks later, dropped a shit load of weight, and walked into school, and everyone was like, "Holy crap!" But all it was because I was literally eating my body weight in fried chicken and penguin bars.
Oh, fried chicken's so good. And penguins, you learn something all the time. Now they just make crappy puns.
Yeah, they're not as good.
I actually bought a Freddo bar the other day. Right? Guess how much Freddos cost?
No.
Do you remember them when you were younger?
Nearing £1 now.
No, they used to be 10p when I was a kid. Now they're 30. I'm like, are you fucking kidding? That thing is tiny. I'm not paying 30p for that. Pays 30p for it anyway. It's tiny.
Like Cadbury's cream eggs. Cadbury's cream eggs used to be like 20p.
Ah, I remember that.
Oh, I remember where penny sweets still cost a penny.
My sister found this sweet seller online who sells retro, the old sweets in the tubs. So she buys them.
Is that a penny of it?
Yeah, I think it works out about a penny a sweet anyway, though, because she bulk buys this shit. I'm only interested in, like, fruit salads and blackjacks. I don't really care about anything else. If I want a mix of it, I'll buy a bag of Haribo.
But they're not really. It's not really the same, is it? You don't have the old school sweets. It's not.
I had a flying saucer the other day. One of the old old-fashioned flying saucers with the sherbet in. But I forgot the sherbet was in it. So when I bit into that and that sherbet emptied into my mouth, my mouth was like, "What the fuck is this?" And
Pop Rocks.
Oh yeah, Pop Rocks are so good.
Yeah.
They put some in a dairy milk bar these days with some jelly beans. That's actually quite nice. I think it's like Sensations or something. Yeah, it's jelly beans and Pop Rocks in a Cadbury's dairy milk bar. It's quite nice. You should get it. The other ones are shit. That one's good.
Just thinking, was that the kind of like Wonka range or something?
I don't know. I remember Wonka bars when they did some. They weren't that good.
No, I just remember there being like a particular chocolate bar range which did all these wacky flavours, and one was chocolate with Pop Rocks. It might be the one you were talking about.
Maybe. I do like Pop Rocks. Have you ever managed to put some in a bottle of Coke and do the bottle up? Honestly, if you do, leave the room. Because when that goes, it goes.
I can't say I actually
I've ever tried. Can't you do that with Mentos though, as well?
You can do it with, you can do it with those. I've done it with Pop Rocks. Emptied the whole thing when it was 2/3 done. Got the top on, quickly done it up, and just rolled it into another room and shut it. There were a lot of my housemates in the other room. It was worth it. You're looking at me.
That's a good prank. I was just thinking, what pranks you've done in your time.
Well, okay. One of my housemates, he gaffer taped my my door from the inside, so he climbed out of my window. I was on like a 3rd floor. He used bed sheets to get down the window, scaled down the thing. He gaffer taped it from the inside, so when I unlocked it and went to go in, I couldn't open it. It was impossible to move the door. So one night when he got incredibly drunk, I moved him, his bed, all his furniture, 3 stories downstairs outside, and put an umbrella over his head while it rained. That was fun. What else have I done? don't know, what else have I done? No, I haven't done anything that adventurous, to be honest.
We did a good one. Well, we did one a few years back. It was like a party with a bunch of our friends, and there's this ongoing joke at the party about one of our friends having a butt plug under his pillow. Well, he says it was a wireless router.
Yeah, but this is still carried on. This started before I knew it.
This has been going over a decade now, and we still, every time we see him, we still go butt plug. And anyway, so it was a fireworks night. I think it was fireworks night. We all had sparklers, so we decided to write a message. It was enough people to write a long message with his name in it. So it was butt plug, his name, and we even got him to do one of the letters. We were like, come here. We'll write this out. And so he came along and he kind of got into it, took the picture with a longer exposure, and it actually had this thing saying butt plug. So that's been on Facebook for a decade now.
Hey.
And he didn't know, he didn't realise.
Yeah, but even was it his birthday or something? And I made a cake, and we made a big like butt plug out of icing to put on the top of it.
Oh wow, I need to see that.
Do we have? I must have a picture of it somewhere. If I don't give away his name, I don't want to start. Yeah.
Oh no, don't worry about that. You can't screen share on Discord, so it's fine.
Good point. I forget.
I think I know a few people that have stuck fireworks up, down their crack and lit it.
Yeah, the Jackass sort of time scale, so mid 2000s. There's a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Doing stupid pranks. Me and my mate, we used to go out.
We had one of the
Bracknell
on campus. We had one of the post trolleys in our house for some reason on campus. So when one of the housemates got drunk, we just bundled him into it and tried to mail him. We stuck him through the door into the post office and locked it. That was fun. I have no idea how they received that when they woke up, because I had to go back there next morning to get a new guitar that I'd ordered. Yes.
I know. My schoolmates used to be cruel to this particular teacher, and they called him a sheep shagger. and they matched. I don't know where they got it from, but they actually put a live sheep in his classroom.
Amazing. We had teachers like that. They were so unpopular, but we had others that was like people were terrified of. And by the way, you mentioned you were a fat kid once, and then you lost all the weight. When I was in year 9 going to year 10, so we go for summer holiday, and I was short, pudgy. Came back though, I was like a foot taller, so I didn't look pudgy anymore because I stretched out. Didn't get fat jokes anymore, motherfucker. Cool, sucked it.
Yeah, well, I went from a prop forward down to like a hook. No, wasn't a hook. No, a number 8. Because before I was like the big fat kid, and they could be relied on just to be like put the weight into the scrum, and then push back to the second row.
I was the guy that got even though he was better at long distance, got stuck doing the sprints until year 10 when they finally learnt that as I've grown up a little bit. I'm actually good at the sprinting, but still prefer long distance.
I'm trying to remember now. Is it the second line? Is it I can't remember now. I have to do a Google search. What would be scrum?
What's this?
It would have been scrum half, wouldn't it?
No, they're backs. Okay.
Doesn't really matter though.
Doesn't matter. It's just I'm going to get called. Someone going to call me out and go, no, it's not.
I don't know anything about rugby, so I can't help you. Although I always found it fascinating that our PE kit was white shorts and a blue long-sleeved rugby top. But we didn't play rugby at school. I was like, why are we wearing a rugby shirt if we're not playing rugby?
I just remember when I was a kid that when you played football in the freezing cold.
Oh,
you had to
I loved
playing
football
out on the
in
pitch.
freezing cold. I was a dick. I
Really?
I would slide tackle people, but whip their feet with my. I'd hook tackle them. I'd slide in and then just whip my foot around because I know it hurt them. landing on the grass, all wet. Yeah, worth it.
I used to purposefully whack people on the ankles when I played hockey.
I used to love playing rounders.
We
had that a lot, and I loved it. We were good. We had a good team. And then one year...
rounders was awesome.
I ruined it in
even
1
play
year.
it anymore at school?
I don't know, but I ruined it in 1 year when I was the backstop. I was a good backstop. I was really good. I have really good throwing arms, so getting them out on first base, very easy. But 1 year, in year 10 or 11, it was over. I threw the ball, and it hit the girl in the back of the head who was running to first base. And the second time, the ball came to me. I threw the ball to second base and smacked the same girl right on the face. Yeah, it was over. My illustrious career in tatters.
I don't know. I used to lose interest quite quickly. And it was once, I think we were playing indoor rounders, and I was on second base. So I was just like stood there with my arms folded, not realising the ball was flying towards me. And I just managed to sort of catch it in the crook of my elbow. Everyone was like, "Oh, well done." I was like, What's happened?" And I've caught the whole team out.
See, I loved rounders. I was quite heavy-handed, so if I hit the ball, it was going to go far. But if I threw the ball, I was going to throw it hard. That was the only drawback, I think. Especially when you throw it really hard and it hits a girl in the face. So much blood.
Actually, that just reminded me of a paintball accident I had. Well, it wasn't an accident. I went playing paintballing with some friends, and I got into it a little bit too much, and I think I aimed for a girl's head by mistake.
Yeah,
headshot. And I just saw this, and I didn't even realise that I'd done it. I just saw this girl walking past in tears, and then kind of give me the stink eye. I'm like, what? Anyway, then we had another round, and one of the guys came up behind me and execution style shot me in the back of the head.
That must have left a welt.
Yeah. It hurt a little bit, yeah. It wasn't until years later I kind of went, you know what? That's probably why I didn't put the two together, and then I suddenly went. I had that moment where you go, oh right, yeah, okay. Because you wouldn't have done it for no reason. I hope. I wasn't that unliked.
Were you injured long term after this?
No. It was just a bit of a shock to the system to be shot in the back of the head with a paintball.
I've only paintballed once, and I think I only got clipped on the shoulder. So I've not really taken a shot before.
It stings a bit. Not that bad. I don't know why people get so upset by getting hit by paintballs. I mean, getting shot in the ear when it's cold, that wouldn't be fun.
I've taken a snowball that in transit to my face turned to ice and hit me on the ear. That fucking kills. Back when we had snow, of course. Which actually I think last time I remember it was 2014, possibly. But
a few years.
Yeah, it's only a few years. We might get some next year. Who knows? It's certainly getting very, very chill outside, so it'll probably get very icy. There was something I was going to.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't, because that kind of defeats me, and it means I can't go.
Yeah, it will cause me a few problems because my trainers are absolutely wrecked. Ice would put me in a very difficult walking position. I'll look like a dog on laminate flooring. Which is hilarious to me. We did just to change the subject. We did some fireworks last night. That was good fun. Yeah. We've never done them before here. We got these fountains and rockets. My older sister, who can't move as fast as I can, it's very funny that she did this. Ran up the garden with the torch, and she was lighting them one at a time. I'm stood there watching and tutting and getting very bored because all I wanted to do was line all the rockets up, light them all, sprint back because I can run, and you know, just enjoy all the explosions. Hers also, she was putting them in the ground wonky, so they weren't going up. They were veering. I know the weight will eventually veer it the wrong way. The one veered and blew. When it did, the remains of the rocket canister hit one of my sisters on the leg. And we were like, you got to start aiming them towards other neighbours, please, because you know, as pretty as they are, we don't want to, you know, start taking fire here. I want to go to more fireworks displays.
I think with the amount of fireworks that were going off around here, I think some people around here are incensed.
Yeah, we had on the way back from work on Friday evening. That's when most were doing them, and someone had the really massive explosion ones. But the explosion itself was so thunderous, even though it was so far away, you know, in the sky so far away. I felt like I could feel it. I could feel that explosion. Like, if that makes sense, I don't know. Maybe I'm not being skeptical enough about it. But it was very, well, it got through my music, so that, in my ears, so that was quite impressive.
It sounds like World War III round here when it kicks off, because of the way a lot of the houses and flats, they've got greens in between them.
Oh yeah.
So it just echoes off of everything.
Yeah.
So you can't tell which direction they're coming from.
Yeah, we had a few neighbours doing that last night. It felt like a pissing contest. Who can make the biggest bang? I don't care about the bang. I want to see all the colours. And then I was trying to explain to my niece why fireworks are different colours, but she was too busy like saying, I want to help by holding them and lighting them in my hand. I'm like, no, you really don't. You really don't.
That's what sparklers are for.
They forgot to buy them. I asked about them. I was very disconcerted that there were no sparklers.
You can get like all different coloured ones and ones that change colour and stuff now.
Oh really? That's cool. They've just added a few little metals here and there. I like that. I was trying to explain that, by the way, to my niece, and she was like, nah, I don't care. I want to watch all the colours in the fireworks. And I'm explaining why they're different colours. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god. She's only 4 and already I detect mental deficiencies.
She's a 4-year-old girl. It's pretty sparkly colours in the sky. That's as far as it's going to go.
And then 1 minute she went, and then, you know, she was watching them, and then she suddenly said, oh, I don't like fireworks, I'm going to go in and get blankets instead. But you like fireworks? Yes, I like fireworks. What the fuck is wrong with you?
4-year-old logic.
She makes no sense. She tried to ask me where the Hoover was, not the Hoover, and nor was she trying to indicate the Hoover. She knows what the Hoover is. What's a Voover? So, you know, the Voover, the Voover thing. The Hoover? No, the Voover. We have a Henrietta. We don't have a Hoover. We have that. She wasn't even talking about that. She was just saying Voover, and I have no idea what a fucking Voover is. She's nuts.
Yeah, for years I couldn't say radiator.
What did you used to say?
Radiator.
Oh, lol.
I couldn't help it.
That's like some of the shitty words that Rice Gum comes out with. I've sort of seen a few things with him saying long words, but he doesn't say them right.
It's like I always used to call monkeys monkneys when I was a kid, and I like
struggle
that. To get out of the habit of doing it.
I like that.
But half the time I still call them monkneys.
I think that's pretty funny though. I like that. I think my sisters sometimes say things because they're bloody minded. Like that. One of them, when she was a kid, she was convinced her middle name was Catherine, not Catherine, which was her middle name. No, it's Catherine. And as an adult, she still thinks her middle name is Catherine. It's not a fucking name, you retard. Where do you think Catherine came from, dipshit?
To be fair, anything's fair game for a name these days.
I've noticed. I found out that There was some wrestler who called his first child daughter, I think, Birdie.
Okay.
I'm going to bully that child.
Yeah, there's been some terrible names out there. What's his name? From Coldplay.
Chris Martin.
Chris Martin.
Isn't it
Yes.
like Apple and
Coco.
stupid stuff like that?
I get the point of trying to give your child a distinctive name. I get it. I really do. But when you call your kid Coco, I'm gonna follow it with Pops. If you're gonna call your what's his name? Fucking Beyonce's other half. You call your son Sir. I'm sorry, I'm gonna fucking mock you. Or you call your daughter
Actually,
Princess. I think.
Yeah, I saw there was something on TV the other day, and they've done this, like looked at like the names registered over the last few years, and all like the older, more traditional names are dying out.
Yeah, they will. How many people do you really think
You're
are going to
getting,
call their daughter Fanny?
But you're getting people calling their kid, like their daughters, like Daenerys and stuff like that now.
Look, I just want to see one person in current year have a child and call their kid Gordon. Okay? The name is good, okay? I like it. Or Trevor.
Malcolm.
Sorry?
Malcolm is a good name. Right, Malcolm.
Malcolm, yeah. Trevor.
Trevor Malcolm.
Trevor Malcolm. These are good names.
Or like, I don't know, like Archibald and stuff like that. You just can't imagine a baby called that.
Gertrude. Gilbert.
Dally, break up with her now. Salvador is a shit name. It's nowhere near as cool as, like, Trevor. I still maintain, like, I'm lazy with names. Like, whenever I did avatars or in video games creation, I always just chose them from Warhammer. I can't be fucked with names. The first one I ever did was a Undead Warrior on WoW. I called him Morcar. It's just a name from Warhammer, okay? If I ever unfortunately got someone pregnant, I'm gonna call them Morcar just to fuck with them. They get to know that I'm that lazy.
Yeah, it's like if we're ever to have kids, which is not going to happen. If I had a son, I would want to call him Jareth.
Jareth.
Bowie in Labyrinth.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
The Goblin King.
The Goblin King. Oh dear, oh dear.
Or Wesley from the Princess Bride.
Or Wesley Crusher. And I know who Salvador Dali is, by the way, Dali. Wesley Crusher. You basically want to call your kid Will Wheaton.
No, as in the Dread Pirate Roberts.
As in that cuck on the internet. He was actually in Twitter beef as well. He basically said he tweeted out some really rude shit about people who were praying to God in the church that was shot up the other day. He said something really fucked up about it. Yeah, it was quite surprising, really. And then he tried to turn it into his tweet being about politicians and gun control and shit. Alright, just shut the fuck up, Will. You fucking cuck. And yes, shut up, Wesley. To this day, one of my greatest videos.
Off the subject a little bit. What's your opinion of this? This 4chan thing. You know, it's
okay to be white. Yeah, I saw this. I've seen a few people make videos about it. I saw Misa just do a video. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, maybe I should do one as well and say, no, death to the white race.
White whip.
White.
Because we watched Sargon's video on it.
Yeah, he did This Week in Stupid as well. He talks a lot about it.
A lot about it, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
most of it
it's only
was.
from watching that. It's only from watching that we found out that there are posters up where we live.
Ah, there aren't any around here where I live. Sadly, I think it'd be
There are
hilarious.
around here, apparently.
I think it's
I've
hilarious.
not seen them.
I think I got one of my Australian subscribers. They messaged me a lot on Facebook, and they showed me some pictures of similar things. That entertained me quite a bit. I don't. I love where this has come from, and I love the point that's being made with it. But I love the reaction even more, because some places have had to be so careful how they deal with it. They can't just shamelessly say, "No, take them down. You can't be proud of your skin because you're white. You're white." I think it's all rather amusing, to be brutally honest.
I'm just waiting for someone to come out and say that, you know, the goths are the worst of the worst, you know, with their white foundation.
Death. Eradicate the white race. Sounds like someone's dry Fleming. It's disgusting. I think... Do you think it's okay to be white in current year?
Well, I always wondered that what's going to happen to me, you know, us, you know, as you're getting older. You know, I mean, you know, old people and their views. You know, people go look. You know, my grandfather was terrible for that kind of stuff. You know, or the dark age, that kind of stuff. And my mum was not. It was a bit better, but she was a bit still obvious. Like she like have a black hospital porter, and she had to always make a point of it. You know, the other day I went into the hospital, and you know, there's a black guy there. You know, don't have a problem with it. You know, it's just making it kind of an obvious thing. Obviously, now we're moving forwards. You know, will our current views as the climate changes just be, you know, what's the right word? Will the goalposts just move around us, and our views will just be looked upon?
Isn't that the whole point of intersectionality? Moved where the newest problem arises.
True, that's very true.
Yeah. By the way, I think it's an interesting statement because I mentioned earlier that I finished recording several minutes of audio for a video. I was talking about people talking about oh fuck, I was going to say something. What were you just talking about? Intersectionality. Black people. Fuck it. Yes, black people. No, I got it. Yeah. Right. So, yeah. I was talking about it's about the poppy appeal. And and one of the points I was trying to make was similar along the lines of, you know, you're free to wear a poppy or no poppy or a pacifist white poppy. You're free to do that because the people that fought for the very freedoms we have now, which has enabled our society to get to the point where we are as multicultural, you know, fought and died for us. So, yeah, there's a point in there somewhere with the video I'm working on, but I can't be fucked to remember it.
Because the poppy appeal's bad this year, apparently, isn't it? It's wrong and we shouldn't do it.
Yes, I think I saw somewhere on my feed about somebody shouting at an old lady who's selling poppies.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some sources for that because I've only got 2 articles and I've done 7 minutes of audio. I've read a poem as well by McRae, that Fields poem. So I did a little reading of that in there because I thought that was kind of appropriate. And I talk about the origins of it, and also the part about the police not stewarding the parades because of budget cuts. Or they say that, but I think it's other reasons. Tinfoil hat and everything. Young people believing that, or some young people believing that it glorifies war. But I do want to also talk about the violence thing. Tomorrow what I'll do is I will find some articles about incidents involving that and talk about how utterly disrespectful it is. Because I wear a poppy, I buy one. I do it every year. I always have done.
I think there's a lot of people that just don't know their history.
Well,
I think that's what the problem is.
When someone says it glorifies war, to me, it immediately alerts me to the fact the person who said it has not attended a history class. World Wars 1 and 2 are taught heavily in our curriculum. They always have, and most likely always will be. So if you haven't learnt this, I'm going to take History for Dummies, all editions. I'm going to smash you around the face with them until it's embedded in your brain.
It bothers me how people get it.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
But wasn't there a big thing last year to do with the England football team or something?
Yeah, so they wanted to wear. They wanted to. I think they wanted to wear either a poppy on a black strap, or wear a black strap, or a minute's silence, or something like that, and they weren't permitted to. Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, they can do it. It's a national team. They're representing our nation. And if they want to do that, then they do it. If they're fined for it, well, they're paid rather well. I'm sure they won't mind.
But it shouldn't have to become like an argument of principles.
It's one of those things where it's a very important part of our history and part of our culture. Oh wait, white people can't have culture. Deaf to the white race.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the thing on the news about like the Queen and Jeremy Corbyn demanding?
Sorry?
There was a thing on the news earlier about the Queen having money in offshore accounts.
Oh yeah, didn't
Jeremy
she?
Corbyn was demanding she apologised for it.
I heard that she didn't know about that.
Yeah, her advisors have like invested her money and stuff. But he's blaming her and saying she should apologise because taxes fund.
I love that Jeremy Corbyn, the fucking socialist, is trying to get someone to apologise for something they don't know about. He wouldn't even. He originally, when elected leader, he wouldn't join the Privy Council. The Privy Council are leaders of parties and other various people who then have to then when they attend these Privy Council meetings, have to kneel before the Queen and kiss a ring. He wouldn't do it for the longest time. He wouldn't kiss her ring. I think I would love someone to draw a picture of Jeremy Corbyn kissing the Queen's ring. I'm very curious because I'll have this video done for Wednesday, and I'm very curious to see in PMQs if Jeremy Corbyn if he respects the minute's silence, and whether or not he'll wear a poppy.
Ooh.
Because I don't know if he'll wear. I think he'll wear a white one because he's a pacifist. Which means immediately he can't run this country. What do you think?
It's a hard one to call because he does, if he wants to have any chance of getting elected, and it's only really appealing to the younger voters, isn't it? The problem is that it's an aging population.
This reminds me, Diane Abbott said, if you're young enough to fight for your country, you're old enough to vote. But we don't send people into the military until they're 18, dipshit. Labour are so desperate to lower the voting age that they'll lie.
Yeah, there was something the other day about them wanting to bring the age down to 16.
They keep wanting to, but clearly kids are fucking retarded. I'm sorry, I wouldn't have trusted myself with this. I was in advanced classes. Even I wouldn't have been trusted to vote. I'm sorry. You're just not smart enough. You think the NHS is European? You can't name your MPs. Fuck's sake, you think wearing a red poppy glorifies war? You fucking kidding me?
It's only in recent years I've started taking an interest, and it's only in recent years I found out who our MP actually is.
I've known who mine is for years. Because I paid attention. I don't care about politics. But I knew who the person was if I could be bothered to go and say something to them.
Well, we wouldn't be able to because our MP's Philip Hammond.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mine's Charlie Elphick, so he's not in the cabinet. He's not in the cabinet. Ah, Philip Hammond, the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Yeah.
Well, you've got lots of figures on it, don't you? He's how often he's been to.
Oh yeah, because you can go and look at online at like how often they've voted and stuff like that, and he barely bothers turning up to vote in anything.
Because abstaining makes him look good.
But he voted to get anything to do with sort of like gay marriage and stuff like that. He's always voted against that kind of stuff.
Has he?
Yep.
He voted against gay marriage.
Mm.
That's interesting. That intrigues me. I wonder why I didn't know you could look online about what people voted on. Where do you find that?
Oh God, I can't remember. But there is some website somewhere where you can actually go and look, because it all has to be sort of public knowledge.
I want to quickly find out. No, I can't be bothered.
It was when I was. I think it was when I was like looking at the candidates for the election around here.
MPs voting record. Let's Google that.
Yeah.
All MPs, they work for you.
There you go. They work for you.com.
Yep. Okay, well, I will type mine in. Charlie Elphick. Let's find him. Dying habits first. Fuck off.
It's quite interesting.
Okay. Mine assumed office in 2010. He generally voted against allowing marriage between two people. He voted against marriage between two people of the same sex. Okay, that's interesting. I don't care for marriage, so I think it's a redundant thing. But at the same time, if people have the rights, they should all have it. He voted against investigations into the Iraq War. That is interesting because Iraq War is the Iraq War. I'm sorry, people debate this. It is debated whether or not it was illegal or not. I believe it was an illegal war. And people what was the terminology used? Preemptive wars are a redemptive cause or some shit. So that's not democracy at work. That's disgusting. It's hypocrisy. It's fucking bullshit. Okay. I want to see what Theresa May voted on. Let's find out quickly. Theresa May. I want to see if she voted against gay marriage or not. Theresa May, not the. Okay,
It gets quite addictive, like going and looking at like what people voted for and against on.
Yeah, I'm interested. I want to know what our. Seriously, I haven't spelled her name wrong. Fuck off. I want to know what Theresa May. Fuck off. I want to know what Theresa May has voted on. T. No, it'd be M then, won't it? There's a lot of MPs, aren't there? Amber Rudd. Fuck off. OMNA. Here we are. Right. Where are you? Where are you, Teresa? I want to... Yeah, there you are. Maidenhead? Oh, what a boring place. Okay. Voted for a wholly elected House of Lords. I agree with that. Has never rebelled against the party in current parliament. Wow, she's boring. I want to see what Jeremy Corbyn's voted on. I want to see. GDC. Here we are. Costa Corbyn. Right. Cuck. Jeremy Corbyn is a Labour MP and on the vast majority of issues votes the same way as other Labour MPs. Okay, so he voted... Oh, he's got lots of things. Okay, so... He's consistently voted against introducing foundation hospitals while most Labour MPs generally voted for it. He also almost always voted against Labour's anti-terrorism laws, while most Labour MPs generally voted for. Consistently voted against the Iraq War. Okay, I agree with him on that, but he's a pacifist, so he's a cuck. Fuck him. Generally voted for investigations into the Iraq War, while I also agree with that. Voted against introducing ID cards. I think I remember that. Yeah, it was going to be quite expensive. Voted against allowing ministers to intervene in inquests, whilst most Labour MPs almost always voted for, which I think actually they shouldn't be allowed to intervene. Voted against requiring the mass retention of information about communications, while most Labour... He's voted against his party quite a number of times. Voted against replacing Trident. Voted for a transparent parliament, while most Labour MP voted against. Labour really isn't about the people anymore, then, is it? Huh?
That's what a lot of them don't like him, do they?
Yeah, he votes against everything. And he's been...
Probably why they don't like him.
How long has he been in... He entered the House of Commons in 1983. Jesus Christ, I was minus 3 years old. Fucking hell. Amazing. I can imagine people getting sucked into this.
It gets addictive going and looking.
Yeah.
You can like drill into it and see like the votes on certain issues as well.
Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll put that in the chat so people can be nosy if they want to look up their MPs and stuff. Give me a sec. Well, if they're interested enough to look up their MPs anyway. It is quite... Diane Abbott. She's top of the page, and it really annoys me because her face bugs me.
That's the only thing about her that bugs you, is it?
Well, a lot of things. She doesn't know how to count for shit. She's voted the same way Corbyn has on every issue. Yeah.
Does that surprise you, though?
It doesn't surprise me that a retard votes the same way as another retard. Dear God. Ooh, there is someone I want to look up, though. Jess Phillips. Jess Phillips. Birmingham Yardley. Okay. Jess Phillips generally voted for higher taxes on banks, whilst most Labour MPs generally voted against. I think, higher taxes on banks. I don't know what the rate would have been, though. Because you've got to be very careful with that. Banks can just move their businesses abroad if they must. It's all about learning to balance, really. She's never rebelled against the party in the current parliament, but she has said that if she had to, she'd knife Corbyn from the front. What a strong, independent woman she truly is.
I don't understand how. I mean, looking through this, you can see there's a lot of people that have not voted at all, just completely absent.
Yeah,
Do they have like rules on how many of them?
I don't know if they have that, but
Go on.
I know I've seen a number of Parliament sessions when they go through bills or they go through legislation, second readings, and people just don't turn up. I guess they think they're better than it. It's like I've noticed Jacob Rees-Mogg. He is always there. Always. Oh, let's find out how he's done.
I was just going to mention him, actually.
Northeast Somerset. Vast majority of issues votes the same way as other Conservative MPs. Okay, so he consistently voted against investigations into the Iraq War, voted against allowing marriage between two people of the same sex, voted against fixed periods between parliamentary elections. I don't know about the election thing. I'm not surprised about the marriage thing because he stated it before. Let's see. He voted against the investigations into the Iraq War. I still wish that they would. Let's find out. Show votes. Because I think. Yeah, I think the whole thing should be transparent and there should be an investigation and that Tony Blair should be in prison. Wow. Right, so 69 people voted for an investigation into the contrast between public statements and private actions in the run-up to the Iraq War, 438 against, 1 abstained, and 136 were absent. So people just didn't turn up. Not that they would have helped. 438 people were like, we've got to protect Tony Blair here, haven't we? Yeah.
I don't know, it kind of bothers me that people just don't turn up, vote, seeing as, that's part of their job.
Interesting. I might go through that more in the future, just for lols. Okay. So is there anything else of interest that happened this week that you'd like to talk about?
The only other thing, there was rumblings about this whole inappropriate behaviour and stuff in Parliament. Meeting or something about it, wasn't there?
There was moral outrage everywhere. So, okay, if after the independent investigation there was, or is, or has been, or is currently things like that going on, fair enough, deal with it. Fire the people doing it, freaking send them to prison if they've done really heinous things. Until then, they are all accusations. That's all they are. Without evidence,
it started this whole debate as to whether grounds for firing MPs and can it be done and stuff like that.
I think it should be done. If you've been partaking in those acts and you're proven to have, you do not deserve to represent your constituents. You should be fired. Simple as that. You had the trust of Parliament to behave in a statesman or stateswoman like way, but instead you decided to touch someone up. But until it's proven, they're just they're accusations. They're allegations, accusations, one or the other, or both.
I think that's the same thing with a lot of this going on at the moment. Even Kevin Spacey, I mean, his life is now in tatters. He's lost his show. He's and it's an accusation.
Yeah, this is why I remain reluctant to, I'm not gonna speculate if he did or not. He can't even remember it until it's proven that they really are just that, accusations. And I'm not going to take someone's word just for the sake of it.
Because anybody could have it. Well, it's been known for years that people get.
There's already hit piece articles, right, saying, "Oh, but Kevin Spacey's dad was a Nazi and he abused him. That's what turned him into a monster." That's on the Daily Mail, by the way. And I'm sorry, but at the moment, people have just come out of the woodwork and said this. It has to be proven. You cannot risk, the whole Bill Cosby thing. It's all just accusations. No one's proven shit. So until you do, and he may have done it, I'm not taking away from those that may be victims. I'm just retaining the right to be skeptical because it's just words.
The problem is with celebrities, it boils down to, you know, I believe this person because I like them more.
Yeah, it
Or
doesn't
I
help.
believe this person because I'm more aware of who they are.
Yeah, it doesn't help, does it? Oh, excuse me. Oh. I think if these things have happened, Hollywood's a very tricky thing, but if crimes have taken place, rather than airing it publicly, which I don't take issue with if you're going to do it, but if you're going to do it, also talk to the police. Yes, you've taken a long time to build up the courage to say something, but you've now said something. It should now go to the police. And I don't know why more people aren't going to the police. I don't understand this. Oh, but I want my 15 minutes of fame. I need it for money, and that's not Big Brother. No one cares.
But
No one
like
cares.
in my head, it baffles me why people wait years and years before saying anything. Because if I was in that situation, the first thing I would do would be to go to the police.
Okay, so I got it for a certain amount of time with Jimmy Savile. Back in his his heyday, I got it. He was powerful. He was connected, and they'd bury the person doing it, discredit them. When he was an old man, no, I don't know why they didn't do it. There were some failings in Operation U-Tree with certain people they captured because they took too long. And I think with actors, Hollywood, and when you're certainly...
They did kind of go after a lot of the wrong people as well.
Yeah, they did. With Hollywood, though, Hollywood is an entity almost unto itself. And I think if you are a famous person, like Kevin Spacey, very powerful person, say you did do the things he's been accused of, he's gotten away with it for a long time. Harvey, whatever his name is, Weinstein or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't even know who this guy is, but if he did half the shit he's done, he belongs in prison. That's not even a joke. If he did half the stuff that he's been accused of, he's committed felonies.
Yep. but what can you say? I mean, he's just,
There is absolutely nothing.
I always say
can
that's
say, because it's just.
Well, the thing is, they say rape is a very difficult thing to prove if you leave it too long, because justifiably, the police can't do it without evidence. And I think it should be well known enough now that that you have to keep the forensic evidence in order to do it.
Mm-hmm.
To get any kind of conviction.
Yeah, it's really freaking stupid, to be honest. Any DNA evidence were degraded anyway over years. I think that the rape allegations are going to be very, very difficult to prove without a confession. Needless to say, Kevin Spacey's career is ruined unless proven innocent, and that would have to go to a courtroom to prove or not. And MPs, if any of them have done it, they deserve to go to prison.
With stuff like that, though, comes out someone's innocent and no one remembers that.
Yeah, the Chet Evans case, the footballer.
Everyone remembers the media frenzy over the accusations and not, the resolution of the whole issue.
Yeah. That's because this is why I believe it should be absolute. If things like this have happened, you don't air your grievance like this. You take it to the police, and it should be absolute anonymity until a conviction is made. You don't say, "Oh, they raped me," and then do fuck all about it, because there's nothing you can do to prove it. You've just said it, and everyone believes you. And in the process, somebody has lost their career. And by the way, I liked House of Cards.
A lot of the time, it's not even me. I'm not saying it's sexual harassment or I don't know. I mean, it seems to be a very fuzzy line there. Say a girl doesn't find you attractive, but how are you meant to know that? Until you go up to them. At the moment, it's no way of going. It seems like one single act where you go up and say hi, and I like
I
you or
swear
something.
when you said hi there,
You know,
I swear you just raped someone.
Yeah, exactly. I just raped you with my voice. Yeah, so I'd be terrified. I'm so glad I'm on the dating scene because I'd be terrified. God.
Yeah, okay, so Dectran makes a good point. Statute of limitations. With some of the time periods or the length of time between when the act took place to present, this is why people can't fuck Bill Cosby, because some of it happened so long ago. And the same would happen with Kevin Spacey. He's lost House of Cards, which was a very successful show. It was only ever meant to go for like 2 seasons at most, and now it's on 5? That's done. It's over. Lots of people are out of work because of it, because of an accusation, and it might be true. It really might, but at best, it's still just that. There's nothing to prove it, and that's the problem. You can't just go around and make these accusations because they're slanderous.
I don't think people think before they go, oh yeah, so and so, did that to me.
If it was, if there was never ever a case where a rape accusation was false and proven to be false, then yeah, fair enough. We could say, on the balance of probability that it's likely that that person did do what he did.
Mm-hmm.
But there's been countless examples of when they had the accusation has been proven to be false.
Yeah. This is why the moral hysteria outrage doesn't bother me in the slightest, because an independent tribunal, an investigation, inquiry, whatever, it's going to be happening with Parliament. It's going to be independent, and it will find out if people have committed acts that are unbecoming and or criminal, and those people will be punished accordingly. The Hollywood thing, though, it's listen and believe. I'm sorry, although I do think Kevin Spacey turning it into an excuse to out himself was a stupid move, there's still nothing to prove anything yet. Until there is something and it's gone to the local authorities and they deal with it, it's all just absolute bollocks. Yeah.
For some of them, it feels like it's just an excuse to call a press conference.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm still here, and I've got this film coming out soon.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that's just, me being a bit cynical, but it's what it feels like with some.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's going to be a mess. It'll be very interesting to see how this all plays out.
I kind of get the feeling with the Hollywood thing, the only people that are ever going to people that were involved in situations.
Yeah. Sorry, rubber band, we finished the Spacey talk. Was there anything else that was of interest to talk about? I can't think of anything because I'm freaking... I can't think straight. No?
I can't think of anything.
Not that I can think of.
Okay, well, I'll end the stream then, and we'll try and think of other shit offline.